And first of all, we'd like to, give me a moment. I'd like to recognize our music performance tonight. It was under the direction of Miss Julie Prock, music director for the Winston Park Elementary Jammers. And the performers were Billy Bowie, Matthias David, Noah Rojas, and Nazariah Sugrem. And I'm going to ask those performers to come forward after we call the roll and lead us in the pledge.
So yes, Mayor, the next music selection for the September 26th commission meeting will be by Vice Mayor Raley. For sound quality, please be sure to speak one at a time. Speak clearly and directly in your microphone. Indicate when you're done speaking, and mute your microphone when you're not speaking. If anyone is having difficulty hearing in chambers at any time during this meeting, please raise your hand, and someone will bring an audio assistance device to you. At this time, we kindly remind everyone to please silence all mobile devices. Thank you.
And if you would, Mr. City Clerk Kavanaugh, please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Here.
Commissioner Wasserman.
Here.
Commissioner Brody.
Here.
Vice Mayor Raley.
Here.
Mayor Welch.
Here.
City Manager Rose.
Here.
City Attorney Piper.
Here.
All right, now if everyone would rise, and we're going to have these young students lead us in the pledge. The flag is back here.
Pledge allegiance to the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you very much, Ms. Prock, for bringing them. We really, really do appreciate it.
This meeting is being conducted live with a physical quorum present. The material for today's meeting is available online at www.coconutcreek.net. Anyone wishing to appeal any decision made will need a record of the proceedings, and for such purpose may need to ensure that a verbatim recording of the proceedings is made, including the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The archive of this meeting may be requested from the city clerk or may be heard online at www.coconutcreek.net.
All right, our first agenda item is a presentation of the Life Saving Commendation Award for Police Officer Emmanuel Torres Carrasquillo.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk. It is a great pleasure to present this life-saving award to one of our very own, Officer Manny Torres. On July 26, 2024, Officer Torres responded to a call of an individual choking at Atlantic Technical College. Upon arrival, he encountered an adult male who was struggling to breathe due to a foreign object later identified as a bottle cap lodged in his airway. Without hesitation, Officer Torres promptly administered back blows and performed the Heimlich maneuver. His immediate and decisive actions dislodged the obstruction, allowing the victim to breathe and speak. If not for his quick life-saving actions, this male subject may not have survived. For this, it is with great pride that I present Officer Torres with the agency's Life-Saving Commendation Award. On behalf of the Coconut Creek Police Department, I would like to extend our thanks to him for our outstanding job. By the way, this is his second life-saving award in the last 5 years.
One with the commissioners.
Hold on, Manny. I want to do a little personal thing here. Shout out to you. If anybody has known who Manny is and seen him around the community, you know what an outstanding gentleman he is. Not just a good cop, but he's a good person. And those things sometimes don't go hand in hand. And you're looking at a man right here that it just does not surprise me that this is the second time. He is an outstanding gentleman. He is a good person. And he is one of the attributes to this police department of what he does out in his life. He's always the same. And I'm going to tell you right now, if we had 150 of you, I'd be happy to. All right, Manny, thank you very much for making us all look good and doing the things that are you're supposed to be doing out there. And I'm very proud of you.
Our second agenda item is a proclamation recognizing September 2024 as Hunger Action Month. And Commissioner Wasserman?
You got it. Whereas in South Florida, around 1 million people are struggling with hunger, ensuring that food is accessible should not be an impossible challenge for our community. And whereas a lack of access to enough nutritious food can have serious consequences on people's health and well-being, and whereas since 1981, Feeding South Florida has worked to end hunger in Coconut Creek by providing our community in need with immediate access to nutritious food. And whereas Feeding South Florida leads hunger and poverty advocacy efforts in our community while transforming lives through innovative programming and education that provides economic growth and overall well-being. And whereas the city of Coconut Creek is committed to supporting Feeding South Florida so that together we can achieve a hunger-free South Florida where those in need transition from dependency to self-sufficiency. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, hereby proclaims September 2024 as Hunger Action Month in the City of Coconut Creek to raise awareness of hunger in South Florida and inspire the community to take action to end hunger in our community.
Devika, I hope I don't mispronounce, Ramkissoon, is the Director of Development for Feeding South Florida, and she's here to accept the proclamation. Thank you. Our next agenda item is a proclamation recognizing September 2024 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And after Commissioner Rydell reads it, Melody Willis, League of Women Voters, will be here to accept the proclamation. Et al.
She's not here. Oh, all right. Whereas the month of September is nationally recognized as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and whereas more than 50,000 Americans died by suicide in 2023. In Florida, a person dies by suicide every 2 hours on average. Whereas suicide is the second leading cause of death for children, adolescents, and young adults ages 10 to 24. And whereas the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Children's Hospital Association, and the American Academy of Child Adolescent Psychiatry have declared a national emergency in child mental health. And whereas it is critical to recognize the signs of depression that may lead to thoughts of suicide, including speaking about wanting to die, feelings of isolation, hopelessness, and increased use of drugs or alcohol, and severe mood swings. And whereas it is critical to recognize the best methods to prevent suicide when a person is in crisis, including asking the person if they're thinking of taking their life, keeping them safe, removing access to lethal means, and getting them professional help. In Florida, anyone can dial 988 or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255 or text 741-741. And whereas the Florida chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics has provided significant leadership in suicide prevention through community education and programming, and whereas the League of Women Voters of Broward County has provided significant leadership in suicide prevention through community education and the creation of Lock It Up gun safety program. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek proclaims September 24 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. It's signed by the Mayor, the Vice Mayor, and the Commission, and notarized by the City Clerk. Yep. Please.
I really do need the mic because my voice is kind of low. Hello, everyone. On behalf of the League of Women Voters and the chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics, I would like to thank the Commission and the City of Coconut Creek for recognizing Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. As you said in your statement, over 50,000 Americans die by suicide every year. Half of those are by firearms. The gun culture, as a registered nurse, is a health crisis in our society. It impacts how people conduct themselves in our society and how we get along with each other. Locking up guns saves lives. The League of Women Voters has a part of their organization that works on this all the time. Anyone who would like to get a free gun lock mailed to them can email gloria.lewis@va.gov. And as you stated, I would like to reiterate, the new phone number to call for mental health crises is 988. Thank you again so much for this recognition.
And I will say thank you so much, because I know at our city events we've actually given away gun locks provided by you guys in conjunction with you. So just thank you for that, and obviously our history.
We need to keep working together.
Our next agenda, item 4, proclamation recognizing September 19, 2024 as Find the Good Day. And we're going to be reading, Vice Mayor Raley is going to be reading it into record, and then Tina Ashley, Community Vice President for Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale, will accept the proclamation, joined by the Junior League's Community Impact Team.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Whereas the Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale, Inc., founded in 1937, is an organization of women committed to promoting volunteerism, developing the potential of women, and improving the community through effective action and leadership of trained volunteers. And whereas the Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale's local impact has been invaluable to the community and includes significant contributions in the areas of human services, arts, science, culture, and history. And whereas the Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale has founded over 12 notable legacy projects in Broward County, including SOS Children's Village in Coconut Creek in 1993. And whereas on Thursday, September 19th, 2024, the Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale will join the Association of Junior Leagues International and all other leagues worldwide in celebrating Find the Good Day, and will specifically be volunteering at our legacy project, SOS Children's Village in Coconut Creek, a foster care community providing healing, hope, and home for children, young adults, and families. And whereas Junior League Find the Good Day encourages individuals to recognize and celebrate the positive aspects of their communities and to take action to uplift others. And whereas on this day, we acknowledge the importance of kindness, compassion, and community service in fostering positive change and building stronger, more resilient communities. And whereas the Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale continues to play a pivotal role in advocating for significant community initiatives and empowering individuals to make a lasting impact. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, hereby proclaims September 19th, 2024 as the Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale Find the Good Day in the City of Coconut Creek, and encourages all community members to participate in acts of kindness, volunteerism, and community service. Signed by the mayor, the vice mayor, commissioners, and notarized by the city clerk.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the amazing women of the Junior League of Greater Fort Lauderdale, a few of my team is here tonight, a few of our folks. I accept this honor with a grateful heart and an immense amount of pride to be a part of this vibrant and resilient community. We have a longstanding partnership with SOS Children's Village, which is right here in the city of Coconut Creek. They do amazing work. We're proud to support their mission and look forward to continuing to find ways to support SOS and the residents of city of Coconut Creek to change lives and build a better tomorrow for children and families across Broward County, actually. Find the Good Day, as you mentioned, is about looking inward and finding ways to look for the good within ourselves, within our communities, and the world around us. So it's really an opportunity that every one of us can participate in. I think part of Find the Good Day for me is about shifting your mindset, even just for a day, from looking at the problems within your community and just focusing on the good, because there's a lot of good out there. Let's focus on it, right, and celebrate it. And so that's what we'll be doing next Thursday, the 19th. These fine ladies and a whole bunch of others will be at SOS Children's Village doing whatever it takes, rolling up our sleeves, working with the children, working in, they have clothing closets. We're going to do whatever we can to help impact them to find the good for now and going into the future. So thank you so much for this honor. We appreciate the recognition.
We'll now have input from the public. Mr. City Clerk Kavanaugh, is there anyone who's signed up to speak on non-agenda items or consent agenda items?
Yes, we have one individual signed up to speak this evening, Susan Steinhauser.
So Susan Steinhauser, 5842 Eagle Cay Circle, Coconut Creek, Florida, 33073. I'll make it really quick. Want to say, number one, congratulations, Mayor Welch, Commissioner Rydell, for having, congratulations on having been chosen to receive this year's Broward Sierra Environmental Champion Award. Well deserved. Thank you for all you do. Looking forward to continuing all these efforts. Speaking of Sierra, I am thrilled to announce a remarkable initiative being championed by our Broward Sierra Junior team. You guys have met them before, and our local Climate Reality chapter, North Broward and Palm Beach County. Climate Reality Project has a program called the Green Schools Campaign, where high school students and middle school students look to have their schools transition to clean, renewable energy. We all know why this is important. I'm not going to use the time here to explain that. The Broward Sierra Junior team has signed on to the Climate Reality campaign, which is really awesome. So we're growing the network, which is just wonderful. They've already reached out to the Broward County School Board and to other entities as well to see what it's going to take to make this dream a reality. So don't be surprised if Anaga Iyer or somebody else from the junior team reaches out to you in the future to make a presentation here. Until that time, the junior team has created a Google form that anybody can fill out if they believe that we should transition to clean renewable energy. So what you have in front of you is a QR code that takes you to this form. I printed out for you what the form looks like so you can see exactly what they're asking for. All that does is lets you say to them, yes, we want clean renewable energy. Then within the form, there's also another QR code. If you wanted to join the campaign, you could. Of course, this is a youth-led campaign. We adults were just sitting there to help them along the way if they need any help. But they're doing it, and they are amazing, amazing kids. Sorry for the use, kids. And anybody here who's interested, I have some extra documents that we can share. You can scan the QR code. If you have a high school student in your family, child, grandchild, middle school, they can join the team as well. So one more thing. Lastly, this was quick, Saturday, the 21st of September at 3 p.m., North Regional Library, Sierra League of Women Voters, Broward County, Climate Reality, having a screening of We're All Plastic People Now. Quite timely considering the ordinance that will be passed later tonight. We're just register, go to broward.org, library, 8 seconds, library, click on events, calendar, the 21st, scroll all the way down, the events are listed in time order, and you can register. So hope to see you there.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on a non-agenda or consent item? All right. Then I will read the consent agenda. Agenda item 5, a motion approving the minutes from previous city commission meetings 2024-0807 WS and 2024-0808R. Agenda item 6, resolution 2024-122, a resolution ratifying the interlocal agreement with Broward County providing for funding and administration of fiscal years 2020 to 2024 CARES Act Community Development Block Grant Program, CDBG-CV, and Community Development Block Grant Program, CDBG, for reimbursement of the Recreation Complex HVAC replacement project. Agenda item 7, resolution 2024-135, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute the construction agreement with the State of Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, for the purpose of constructing sidewalk improvements with the right-of-way of Sample Road, State Road 834, associated with the Broward County Mobility Advancement Program, MAP, surtax project. Agenda item 8, resolution 2024-128, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute amendment number 1 to the agreement with Craig B. Kushner, DO LLC, providing medical director services for Coconut Creek Fire Rescue. Agenda item 9, resolution 2024-140, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute the attached letter of agreement with the State of Florida Agency for Health Care Administration, ACA, to participate in the Public Emergency Medical Transportation, PEMT, program for Medicaid Managed Care Reimbursement. Are there any items the Commission wishes to pull?
Move consent.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Rydell, seconded by Commissioner Wasserman. And then, Mr. City Clerk Kavanaugh, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Wasserman?
Yes.
Commissioner Brody?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Raley?
Yes.
Mayor Welch?
Yes. Agenda item 10, ordinance 2024-031. It is a first reading.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, amending the city's Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 3, Departments, Division 3, Fire Rescue Department, to amend Section 2-82, Use of Off-Duty Firefighter Paramedics or Fire Inspectors for Unofficial Functions, to provide for an increase of off-duty detail fees for firefighter paramedics or fire inspectors, and add Juneteenth as a holiday, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Rydell, seconded by Vice Mayor Raley. Are there any questions? Oh, excuse me. I preempted you. Fire
go
Chief
ahead.
Gary, please. Make
The ordinance in front of you is raising our detail rates and also adding the Juneteenth holiday in there to make it commensurate with the CBA collective bargaining agreement you just passed earlier.
Are there any questions or comments? Mr. City, is there anyone that signed up to speak?
Not at this time, Mayor.
Is there anyone that wishes to speak on this item? All right. If there are no further questions or comments from the commission, Mr. City Clerk Kavanaugh, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Wasserman?
Yes.
Commissioner Brody?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Raley?
Yes.
Mayor Welch?
Yes. Thank you. Agenda item 11, Resolution 2024-139, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute the attached agreement with South Florida Utilities, Inc. to provide maintenance, access structure, and wet well rehabilitation services pursuant to IFB number 05-01-24-11.
Move
Is
it.
Second.
I hardly got it out. Commissioner Rydell moved it and seconded by Vice Mayor Raley. We have Utilities and Engineering Director, Mr. Osami here.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I'm getting some eyes from over there. I'm not going to look. So,
No, you did a really good backup presentation. I understand everything.
thank you. So, the Utilities and Engineering Department and the City of Coconut Creek prides itself of having operational and well-maintained infrastructure. So, part of our infrastructures are wet wells, lift station wet wells, and also access structures, also known as manholes. So what you have in front of you will help us continue with the maintenance, and it's with South Florida Utilities, Inc. We have a representative here, Scott Carpenter, if you have any questions. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, are there any questions or comments from the City Commission? They came, we should ask. Thank you. All right, Mr. City Clerk Kavanaugh, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Wasserman?
Yes.
Commissioner Brody?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Raley?
Yes.
Mayor Welch?
Yes,
Thank you. Have a good evening.
thank you. Agenda item 12, ordinance 2024-033, and it is a first reading.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, amending the city's Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 12, Garbage and Refuse, by creating Article 4, Zero Waste, to provide for the reduction of solid waste by limited distribution of certain plastic products, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Is there a motion
Move it.
and a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Rydell, seconded by Commissioner Wasserman. And we have our Sustainable Development Director and Public Works, Mike Hyman here.
Yes.
Heimbeck?
Yep, just want to introduce Mike Heimbeck, who's our Public Works Project Manager, and also Linda Whitman is in the back there somewhere. She's our Sustainability Manager. They've been working on this for a while. Mike will be giving us an update in the presentation.
Yeah, just a couple. There we go. Yeah, just a brief statement. You know, this is a culmination of quite a bit of work, both by the City Commission and staff, to really what is a small step forward to reduce the consumption of single-use plastics in our community. This ordinance in particular is a little less stringent than what we had in Gainesville, allowing for more practicality, if you will. So I'm here if you have any questions.
All right, are there questions or comments?
Just one brief question. I do support this tonight. I'll be supporting it. How many times in the past year have you worn a tie?
Oh, I got some mess today. 5.
Okay, that's all I have. I do support this. Thank you, staff.
Anyone else? Commissioner Brody?
So, as normal, my conversation, I feel telling businesses how to do business is a governmental overreach. If this was a volunteer program and a partnership where we can have a landing page for all our green friends in these businesses, I would be fine with this. But to mandate and have an ordinance that has teeth in it for a small business, and I'm going to tell you right now, I got 3 phone calls this week of businesses struggling here in Coconut Creek, and I don't want to add burden to these people who are trying to live their dream in this city. And I know it seems mundane, and I know everybody's tired of hearing it, but I don't care. These are our small businesses, and that's the one thing that we should be looking out for. When I first became a commissioner, a wise commissioner told me there's two things that we care about as a commissioner: residents and small business. This is the small business piece. This is where we impact the people that are struggling to live their dream here in the United States. Some of them are here running a business, and that business is about to collapse, and their visa depends on that business to stay in this country, to live the American dream. And what are we doing? We're shoving an ordinance down their throat that's going to restrain them even more. So I don't take this lightly. We've had, what, 6 park cleanups in the last year? No, we had more than that. Oh, yeah. I got the scars to prove it because I walked through that brush, every single one of them, except for one that would happen during my daughter's wedding. 30 buckets of trash that I picked up. Gloriously loved every minute of it. Ironically, not a single utensil was picked up. Not one. So, I'm sorry, I'm speaking right now, Mayor. I also only picked up 1 food container, 5 parks. I don't see where we're shoving this down our small businesses' throat to do this. Obviously, if it was a volunteer program, which I've stated many times, I'd be totally on board with it. I'm totally on board with us self-policing ourselves. And I actually was giving the city manager crap about stuff that we're still doing in our city that we need to clean up. This isn't about the environmental piece, because I believe in that. What I don't believe in is shoving an ordinance down a small business's throat and telling them what we're going to do. This isn't a life safety issue. A plastic fork isn't going to kill somebody today. We understand it. Yeah, it's cumulatively will do harm. We get that. But at what cost? Running these small mom and pop restaurants out of business? We saw the results. Put 70 businesses. We got what, 14 replied? Out of 14, 78% of them didn't want it. Okay, why are we listening to them? Okay, can't we find a better way to do this than shoving an ordinance down somebody's throat? I feel that we need to make sure that when we do this, we're not impacting negatively the people who are working and living in our city too. I think that we need to rethink this. I can't be on board with something that's going to be the governmental overreach into a business. I just can't get on board with that. I can get on board for a volunteer program. I'd even be the first one to help put the signs on windows to make them our green partners. But I'm not in favor of shoving an ordinance down a small business's throat. It's something that we can get them voluntarily to do. I think this was a lack of effort of community outreach to the businesses, considering only 14 responded. I think that we could have done a better job before we got this up on the dais. So I can't support something that's gonna impact them. So that's where I stand. I know it's not the favorable thing in the room. I know I'm gonna get some hate mail for this. That's okay. I'm willing to take it on the chin for the small businesses, the people striving to do what they need to do to have their life, their piece of the pie. I think there's a better way we can do this. I don't think this is it.
Commissioner Wasserman?
Thank you, Mayor. Can you just review Section 12-71 in regards to the single-use plastic straws for the record?
Right, so we will prohibit plastic straws. However, we will allow alternatives that would include things like paper or bamboo. And then we also have specifically allowing marine biodegradable bioplastic straws.
When we did this, however long ago, was straws, I'm having a hard time remembering if straws were a key component of what we talked about up here. I know that we talked about forks, straws were, and consensus was for straws. Okay. So I am in favor of this. I 100% understand Commissioner Brody's argument, and I respect it. Tough decisions are not always favorable, but if we can help save the world in our small little bubble, then this might be a small notch on that belt. I understand, especially the balloons. You know, that's a key component of this, and I know, you know, it's kind of at the bottom of the of it, but it's really important. The releasing of outdoor plastic confetti, glitter, and balloons. People understand that those balloons, when you release them, they land somewhere, And sometimes they're done in ceremony. Sometimes they're done for a lost one who passed, and they release a bunch of things. But it does impact our environment. I'm for it, and I hear Commissioner Brody loud and clear though, and it puts a lot of pressure on people. But we have to make these tough decisions to help better our society and better our world for the future. And I think if this is a small little piece of that, then I'm all for it.
Vice Mayor Raley.
Yeah, like you say, it is a tough decision, and somebody does suffer. You're going to have happy people, you're going to have unhappy people. We can't make everybody happy. But when we consider our decisions, we do it for the good of the majority. And we have to start somewhere. And I think a lot of businesses have started doing this voluntarily. So there are alternatives for these small businesses other than the plastic. I know even in our community, I am seeing more plastic bottles on the roadways, cans, more than I've ever seen before. So I think we have to start somewhere. So I am in favor of this.
I fully realize we didn't go as radically as Gainesville did, but I am in support of it because I feel like we have businesses that have been doing much of this for a while. And personally, I think we should recognize those businesses that are already have already made that step in our community, and they're just leading by example. So I do support it, and I understand Commissioner Brody's approach, but I too realize we need to set the tone for what we expect in the city of Coconut Creek. So.
At one point, I sat through an interview with Mike Heimbeck, and I just want to say this because I think it's extraordinarily telling. I can tell you 6 restaurants right now that shifted to marine biodegradable products that are saving money on not using styrofoam and other paper products. Saving money. So that's all I have. I have nothing further.
Can I rebut that a little bit there, Commissioner Rydell? When you do a single source, and there's only 1 or 2 companies that are providing that product, and you're starting to tell 70 businesses now that they all have to go there, you're not going to get the product. It's all good in theory. But as the one that ran businesses here in Coconut Creek, I'm going to tell you, we ran out of stuff all the time. And then to go source that is incredibly difficult, if you can find it at all, because it runs out, because you're forcing people to buy these products that are not in bulk yet. So my problem here is what happens when all the good intent of buying bamboo forks and biodegradable forks and all that, and you can't get it. Now, when somebody comes into the business, they see a plastic fork, and what happens? They're going to call, and they're going to get code enforcement involved. They're going to get fines, and they're going to go down this path because we're forcing them to buy a product that they may not be able to get readily. This is why I favor the volunteer program, because they take the liability of understanding what will happen rather than us telling them what we're going to do. That's where I stand. It has nothing to do with the environmental piece, because I believe in getting rid of them. But there's got to be a better way to do this rather than destroying these businesses. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a business we cut the ribbon on that is absolutely struggling right now. Now, what do we tell them? They called me yesterday. What do we tell them? We tell them, okay, I'm sorry that you're struggling, you're barely in business, you're month to month, you can't pay your rent. Now we're going to put something in it that they got a single source, prices will go up. I'm just telling you, I've ran businesses, I've seen the path that this goes down. This is not a good policy.
Mr. City Clerk Kavanaugh, has anyone from the public signed up to speak on this item?
Not at this time, Mayor.
All right. Is there anyone present that wishes to speak on this item? All right. If you'll come forward, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, Tammy Lettieri, 3302 Carambola Circle South, Coconut Creek, 33066. Commissioner Brody, I'm going to address you primarily. I'm a retired small business owner. I come from a long line of small business owners. My father, my mother, my 2 brothers, and my grandmother in Texas in the 1940s. So let's get to my small business. I was an independent Medicare provider. Talk about regulation. You know why I persisted? Because Medicare is a wonderful program. They're the best payer source, and I love my job. So I dealt with it. If we don't have regulation, we have chaos. If you don't regulate single-use plastic, you are going to be very hypocritical when you're tackling this dump issue. The dump is killing us. There will be nobody in Coconut Creek healthy enough to go shop at these small businesses because you know what plastics do to us? Phthalates, carcinogens, endocrine disruptors. That's just 2 issues, 2 problems they cause. Let's get to PFAs, forever chemicals, also in plastics. They come in plastic food packaging, single-use plastics, straws, utensils, both phthalates and PFAs. You know what gets admitted from that dump at an extremely high rate? PFAs, the forever chemicals. You can never burn them off. You don't get rid of them, hence forever chemicals. You know what? They also leach into the groundwater in addition to being emitted into the air. I live about a half a mile from the dump. I'm outraged that this is going on. You know who did this study? University of Florida. They tested landfills throughout Florida. They didn't name the landfill. I suspect it was Monaco. So how do you plan on protecting us from the dump when you don't want to regulate these toxic utensils? We have to do better. We can go back to glass. We can go back to cardboard containers. What was wrong with getting your Chinese takeout food in a cardboard container? Nothing. Why can't we buy mayonnaise in a glass bottle again? Let's get to recycling. It's a myth. You cannot recycle plastic. Less than 6% is recycled in the United States. But you know what? It's sitting in the dump. And it's going to be burnt in the incinerator that Beam Fur has planned for us. So if you guys don't limit plastics and help us do a mass education program to get people back to using glass, metal cans, and cardboard packaging, all recyclable, then sorry for my language, but we're screwed. Anyway, thank you.
Are there any further questions? Oh, sorry. We have someone that used the request to speak. Commissioner Wasserman.
I requested to speak. I was thinking, I was listening to Tammy, and I just feel so, I'll make it quick, but I just feel so fortunate to be up here in this position and lending a hand. He snickers to my right. But I really do. I'm lucky to be here, to be up here, to be able to help lead the way and to help contribute in this way, and I'm just grateful for it. And I just, that's all I have to say, because I think about Plastic Island. I think about all the plastics in the ocean and what's going on in the Pacific and like these massive, all the plastic coming together. It's just crazy. So this is our little contribution. I'm proud to be a part of it. Thanks.
Commissioner Brody.
I just want to reiterate that I am not anti-recycling. I'm not anti-plastic. All right? So I want to make that very clear right now. What I am anti is overreach into small businesses. And when I'm getting phone calls, and you don't have to deal with those phone calls, Tammy, so you can shake your head all you want. I have to deal with the phone calls of these businesses going, what do I do? That's what I've been dealing with this week because of this. And I'm going to tell you, we could sit there and say all this stuff. We've got to get a better plan than this. This is not a good plan. These people are going to be ruined. Their lives ruined. They're already there. This economy is not good. They're already struggling. We're going to put an ordinance in place that's going to make it worse. I don't think that an ordinance that demands that they do stuff is a good way to do this. I think that we get a hand-in-hand partnership and do it that way. We take the time to do it right. I think that way we get buy-in from them. You're certainly going to get buy-in from me because we're not shoving it down their throat rather than holding their hand and helping them. Okay, so I'm not anti-plastic. I'm not saying that we got to come up with a better solution for the small business. That's all I'm saying. I'm okay. You can ask the city manager. I wrote her rear end all the last 2 weeks on this about what we're doing to be the example in the city. Okay, you want to be in charge of something? You want to steal city government? We're supposed to be leading the way. Yet I walk through this building and I still see stuff that we shouldn't be doing. All right, even with this ordinance being talked about for the last 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, so we need to be right first. So I think the timing of this isn't right because we're not there. Secondly, I think we need to have a better way of having a handshake relationship with our small businesses, our mom and pop restaurants that are struggling, and figure out a volunteer way to do this and promoting it at the same time as a green company, right? We do have a landing page. We've talked about this. We have a landing page where if they voluntarily do it, we'll put the sign up on there. We'll be able to say, these are our safe restaurants. That's the right way to do this. I think doing it the way we're doing it, it just doesn't sit well with me.
Vice Mayor Raley.
May I ask how many surveys went out?
70.
And we had 14 responses.
Correct.
I can't assume why these businesses haven't answered, but if they were really up in arms, I would imagine we'd hear from them.
Are there any more questions or comments from the commission? All right. Mr. City Clerk Kavanaugh, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Wasserman?
Yes.
Commissioner Brody?
No.
Vice Mayor Raley?
Yes.
Mayor Welch?
Yes. We'll now have the city manager report. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. I have quite a bit of news tonight. I'm pleased to say that I offered Brian Blizzard the position of Fire Chief yesterday, and he accepted the position. We are sad to see existing Fire Chief Jeff Gary is retiring, and Brian Blizzard has agreed to step in. The expectation is he will start early November. We had a very productive meeting with Dr. Wanza and Dr. Hepburn today, and thank you to the mayor for organizing that. I know many of you are attending the meeting on September 18th. We did raise the issue of suggesting a K through 8 program should be considered for Coconut Creek Elementary, or a free VPK, so they are looking at those items. There'll also be a lot of community input. Because it was an opportunity, I also brought up the issue of the Lions Creek traffic circulation, and we are, from a staff perspective, working to get that message out clearly, hoping to get that implemented quickly. The Solid Waste and Recycling Processing Authority is also meeting on September 18th. The staff has been working with several advocates in the community, and we are prepared to have staff presentations and representation on all the questions that we expect to be asked, as well as the city's position. We discussed last week the Poet Laureate, and I've had a good opportunity to sort of drill into that. It became crystal clear to me that we created a Poet Laureate position without much guidance and much thought to how the process would roll out. So my recommendation is that we spend the time to reconsider how the program works, and your staff will be doing that. Broward County has announced that they expect to advertise October 8th for the land use plan amendment and consideration of the A6 zoning, and then with the hearing scheduled for October 22nd. And we are working, based on today's action, on the RFP for the fire station. We expect to have that out on the street early December. So that's all I have.
City Attorney, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief. I just wanted to make sure that you are all aware that in the Henry Hage et al. Versus Coolidge Inc. / Graystar, Cocomar PCD, and City of Coconut Creek, we had filed our response prior to the last City Commission meeting, we being us as well as Greystar. And at this point in time, the petitioners, Henry Hage et al., have filed their reply, and we're really just waiting on the court to rule, and I will keep you updated as soon as I hear more. So thank you.
Commissioner Rydell?
My only comment is brief. I'd ask Madam City Manager to have Yvonne put tonight on the social media aspect of the tentative schedule of the solid waste meetings. I've received 20-plus emails, people taking off work next week on the 17th. We originally pushed it out on the 17th. We need to educate our residents ASAP of saying the tentative meeting is going to be on this date. I have no further comment this evening, except I hope the Buffalo Bills win.
Well, I'm sure Commissioner Wasserman has a comment about that.
I actually have 22 commission comments for tonight.
Have a good night.
No, I don't have much. I want to know more about the meeting with Dr. Wanza and Hepburn. I didn't know anything about this, and I mean, maybe we could talk on the side or whatever, but sounds great. But I'll leave it at that. Fins up.
Commissioner Brody?
I'm kind of excited. Next week is 9/17, which is Constitutional Day, and Broward County has expanded that to the entire week, which is amazing, although there's some testing involved, so that kind of muddies the water a little bit. But it's kind of cool to be able to deliver pocket constitutions to our 8th graders in Coconut Creek. I have a meeting tomorrow with North Broward Prep to drop theirs off, Monday with Dave Thomas, and then Lions Creek Middle has allowed me to come in and take 2 days on Thursday and Friday, Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, one of those 2 days, and speak to them and maybe highlight some of the, First Amendment, because you guys know I love my First Amendment. And, that's real prevalent right now since we're having all these First Amendment auditors hitting up all these cities and doing all this stuff to intimidate police and staff. So it's a good one to kind of bring up and be able to speak to. And so I'm kind of excited to be able to do that and, be able to share my love of the Constitution. The whole time that I was in the Army is what kept me kind of going, to be honest with you, is knowing that it, back in my own country was a lot better. Right, that was always the thought when we were over there. So I take great pride in being able to speak to our 8th graders in Coconut Creek and share the Constitution with them.
Vice Mayor Rayleigh?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm happy to say that the dilemma that we're all facing in Florida has finally landed on the ears of those who matter. And I'm talking about the insurance crisis and the reserves for HOAs and condos that have been a burden because of the new statutes that are in place. I received a call from Congressman Moskowitz's office. They're having a hearing on Sunday. Debbie Wasserman Schultz will be there, as well as Senate Budget Committee Chairperson Sheldon Whitehouse and Congressman Moskowitz. And they asked me to come and speak representing the condo associations. So I'm honored to do that, and I'm excited that at least somebody's listening to us and know that there is a crisis out there. So I did want to share that with you guys. So that would be at the Commission Chambers in Hollywood. So, and that's all I've got. Go Dolphins.
All right, I just have one comment. I hope that all of the internet providers are working tonight, as well as the cable. Anyway, I'm going to wish a happy early to, there are a lot of things happening on the 18th next week, and one of which is our city manager's birthday, so happy early. And we won't sing to you. Do we have a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Now, may I ask one thing, though, before we adjourn? Commissioner Rydell, you made a challenge. Did you keep it?
I don't know, Mr. Kavanaugh could look at the quickest meeting ever. I still think I beat it by like 16 minutes, but I'll give it to you this year, Mayor.
Dang. All right. Adjourned.